Pain is not a punishment, it is a preparation. What you perceive as suffering, as trials too heavy to bear, is the divine hand molding you into the vessel you are destined to become. This is not the abandonment of the Creator, but the whisper of purpose calling you into alignment. Every tear you have shed, every moment of despair, is a seed planted in the fertile soil of your spirit. And though you may not see it now, these seeds are destined to bloom into greatness. We must remember that the external world is but a reflection of the inner self. The storms you face in life are not external forces acting against you, they are projections of the transformation occurring within. The fire of pain purifies. It burns away the illusions, the doubts, and the fears, leaving behind the essence of who you truly are. A divine being with the power to create, to transform, to rise. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine the version of yourself you long to become. See yourself strong, victorious, and whole. Hold that vision tightly, for it is not just a dream, it is a reality waiting for your belief to bring it forth. Every trial, every moment of pain is shaping you into that image. The Creator uses this process not to harm you, but to remind you of your strength, to awaken the dormant power within you. Do not resist the pain. Do not run from it. Instead, embrace it as the hand of God preparing you for greater things. In every dark moment there is a lesson, a gift waiting to be uncovered. Trust that this pain is not meaningless. It is a bridge to the life you are meant to live. You may not understand the why now, but trust the process, for God's plan is all. Faith is the key that unlocks the door to your transformation. Speak words of faith into your pain. Declare, "This too shall pass," and know that it will. Feel within you the power to rise above your current circumstances, not by your might, but by aligning with the divine will that is always working for your good. When you align your imagination with faith, miracles unfold. In moments of doubt, return to stillness. Withdraw from the outer world and enter the silence within. There you will find the presence of God, the reassurance that you are never alone. In that quiet space you will feel the pain begin to lose its grip, replaced by a peace that surpasses understanding. It is here that transformation begins, not through struggle, but through surrender. You are being prepared, not punished. Your journey may feel heavy, but remember that diamonds are created under pressure and gold is refined by fire. You are not being broken, you are being shaped, strengthened, and elevated for the divine purpose that lies ahead. Trust that every moment of pain has meaning, and every tear will water the harvest that is to come. Pain often feels like a thief, doesn't it? Stealing our comfort, robbing us of our sense of peace. But if you look closer, you will see it is not a thief, it is a teacher. Every great transformation in life comes with a degree of discomfort. Think of the seed buried beneath the soil. To grow, it must push through the darkness, crack open, and reach for the light. The breaking is necessary. This is what you are experiencing. Your pain is not random, it is intentional. It is the evidence of your soul expanding, breaking through the limitations of the old self to create space for the new. Do you see now why the struggle feels so personal, so unique to you? Because it is tailored to you. The challenges you face, the heartbreak you endure, are not accidents. They are precise instruments in the hands of the Creator, carving away the excess, revealing the masterpiece within. It may feel as if life is stripping you bare, taking everything you hold dear, but that is not so. What is being taken are the things that no longer serve the vision God has for you, the attachments, the illusions, the habits that would hinder your ascension must go. And yes, this shedding is painful, but it is necessary. When you begin to see your pain as purposeful, it changes everything. The moments that once felt like curses transform into blessings. You start to realize that every disappointment was a redirection, every closed door was protection, and every loss was preparation. This is not wishful thinking, this is spiritual law. The trials of life are designed to draw you closer to your divine nature, to awaken you to the realization that you are not a victim of circumstance, but a co-creator with God. And yet, how often do we resist this process? How often do we cling to what is familiar, even if it is no longer serving us? Pain arises not because God wishes to harm us, but because we resist the change that pain demands. It is the resistance, not the transformation itself, that causes suffering. When you let go of the need to control, when you surrender to the process, you will find that pain begins to lose its power over you. It is not the breaking that hurts, but our unwillingness to trust that what lies on the other side is greater than what we are leaving behind. Trust is the foundation of transformation. Trust that God is not only aware of your pain, but is actively using it for your good. Trust that the very thing you are praying to be delivered from is the thing that will deliver you into your destiny. How do you build this trust? By going inward. The answers you seek are not found in the chaos of the world, but in the stillness of your heart. When you quiet the mind and listen, you will hear the voice of God reminding you that you are not forgotten, that your pain is not in vain. Imagine just for a moment that your pain is a sculptor, and you are the marble. With every challenge, with every heartbreak, the sculptor's chisel removes what is unnecessary, revealing the beauty hidden within. You may not understand the process while it is happening, but trust that the artist sees the final masterpiece, even if you do not. This is why you must not lose hope. Hope is the anchor that keeps you grounded during the storms of life. It is the light that guides you through the darkest valleys. And as you endure, remember this: you are never alone. The divine presence walks with you even in your darkest moments. When you feel like you cannot take another step, lean into that presence. It is not just with you, it is within you. This power, this light, is the same force that created the universe. Do you understand what that means? It means that within you lies the ability to overcome anything. The same power that spoke the stars into existence is the power that will carry you through your pain and into your purpose. But here is the secret. You must not wait for the pain to end to start living in faith. Too often we tell ourselves that we will believe once we see the evidence. But faith does not work that way. Faith is the evidence. When you can look at your pain and declare, "This is working for my good," you activate a divine law that brings your vision into reality. You do not need to see the whole staircase. You only need to take the next step. Each step taken in faith brings you closer to the fulfillment of your destiny. Do not allow the pain to define you. You are not your struggles. You are not your past. You are a child of God, created with intention, purpose, and power. Speak to yourself with the authority that comes from this truth. Declare that you are more than a conqueror, that you are being prepared for something greater. Speak life over your circumstances, even when it feels like life is slipping away. Your words have creative power. What you affirm, you become. So affirm the truth, not the temporary. You might wonder, how can this pain possibly lead to something good? The answer lies in the mystery of God's timing. What feels like delay is not denial, it is divine orchestration. There are things you cannot see, connections being made, opportunities being prepared that will all come together in perfect alignment. But you must trust the process. Impatience will only prolong the journey. Surrender and allow the Creator to work in ways that are far beyond your understanding. Pain is not the end of the story. It is the beginning of a new chapter. It is the soil from which your strength grows, the fire that forges your character, the storm that clears the way for your blessing. Do not despise it. Embrace it, knowing that it is shaping you into the person you were always meant to be. The vision you hold in your heart, the dreams you dare to dream, are not there by accident. They are insomnia, they are divine whispers, reminders of what is possible when you align with God's will. And so, in the face of pain, stand firm. Do not waver in your faith. Do not allow the temporary discomfort to cause you to forget the eternal promise. Every step you take, every moment you endure, brings you closer to the fulfillment of that promise. Your story is not over. It is still being written, and the best chapters are yet to come. Hold on to this truth and let it carry you through the fire. You are being prepared not for something ordinary, but for something extraordinary. Trust the process, trust the pain, and trust the one who holds you in the palm of his hand. The pain you feel is a divine invitation, a sacred call to rise above what you thought you were and step into the fullness of who you are meant to be. When you look at your circumstances, it may seem as though everything is falling apart, but in truth everything is falling into place. God's ways are not our ways. What feels like chaos to us is divine order in motion. You must resist the urge to interpret your pain as punishment, for it is not. It is preparation. It is the shaping of your soul for something greater than you could ever imagine. Every great story involves a journey, and every journey involves trials. You are on a path that leads to transformation, and transformation always requires a breaking, a tearing away of the old to make room for the new. Think of the caterpillar. It does not transform into a butterfly by clinging to what it knows. It must surrender to the process, retreat into stillness, and allow itself to be completely undone. Only then does it emerge, no longer bound to the earth but free to soar. You too are in a cocoon of sorts. Your pain is a transformation at work, and though it feels like an ending, it is actually a beginning. Do not judge the process before it is complete. The pain you feel now may not make sense, but that does not mean it is without purpose. In time you will see how every piece fits together, how every struggle was necessary to bring you to the life you were created to live. Until that time, trust. Trust that God sees what you cannot. Trust that what feels like a delay is divine timing. Trust that the breaking is making you stronger, wiser, and more compassionate. When you face pain, it is tempting to ask, why me? But perhaps the better question is, what is this teaching me? Pain has a way of revealing what we need to see, lessons we might otherwise ignore. It strips away the distractions and forces us to confront the truth about ourselves, about our lives, and about our relationship with God. It is in these moments of deep introspection that growth happens. You discover strength you did not know you had, faith you did not realize was so deep, and a connection to the divine that is unshakable. You must learn to see beyond the surface. What appears to be loss is often gain in disguise. What feels like rejection is often redirection. The doors that close are not meant to punish you, they are meant to protect you. You may not understand it now, but one day you will look back and thank God for every no, for every setback, for every tear. You will see how they were necessary to bring you to a place of greater fulfillment, purpose, and joy. And while you are in the midst of the storm, remember that you are not alone. God has not abandoned you. Even when you cannot feel His presence, He is there, guiding you, strengthening you, and preparing you. The very fact that you are still standing, still breathing, is proof of His faithfulness. You may feel weak, but His strength is made perfect in your weakness. Lean into that strength. Let it carry you when you feel you cannot take another step. The mind is a powerful thing, and it plays a crucial role in how you navigate pain. If you dwell on the negatives, the pain will consume you. But if you choose to focus on the promises of God, you will find peace even in the midst of your struggles. Speak life into your situation. Declare that this pain is temporary, that it is working for your good, that it is preparing you for something greater. In essence, the words you speak have creative power. Use them to shape your reality, to align your mind with the truth of who you are and whose you are. Visualization is another tool that can help you endure. Close your eyes and see yourself on the other side of the pain. See yourself stronger, wiser, and more fulfilled. Feel the joy of having overcome. When you can see it in your mind, you are one step closer to bringing it into reality. This is not wishful thinking. It is aligning yourself with the divine blueprint for your life. The more you focus on what is possible, the more you open yourself up to receive it. There is also power in gratitude, even in the midst of pain. It may seem counterintuitive to give thanks when you are hurting, but gratitude shifts your perspective. It reminds you of all that is good, even in difficult times. Thank God for the strength to endure, for the lessons you are learning, for the growth that is taking place. Gratitude is a declaration of faith, a way of saying, I trust that this is for my good, even if I cannot see it yet. You must also remember to rest. Pain often drives us to overthink, to overanalyze, to strive for answers. But sometimes the greatest act of faith is to rest. Rest in the knowledge that God is in control. Rest in the assurance that He is working all things together for your good. Rest in the truth that you are loved beyond measure, that your pain is not in vain, and that brighter days are ahead. As you journey through this season, know that you are being refined, not destroyed. The fire you are walking through is not meant to consume you, but to purify you. It is removing the impurities, the doubts, the fears, and the limitations that have held you back. What will emerge on the other side is a version of you that is stronger, more resilient, and more aligned with your divine purpose. And when you finally reach that place of breakthrough, when the pain has served its purpose, you will look back and see the hand of God in every detail. You will see how the trials shaped you, how the struggles prepared you, how the pain became the foundation for the blessings that followed. You will stand in awe of the journey, grateful for every moment, even the difficult ones, because they brought you to a place of greater purpose and fulfillment. Your story is not over. The pain you feel now is not the final chapter. It is the middle of the story, the part where the hero faces their greatest challenge before rising to victory. Hold on to that truth. Hold on to the promises of God. Hold on to the vision of who you are becoming. Let the pain refine you, not define you. Let it prepare you for the greatness that lies ahead. Trust the process, trust the pain, and trust the one who is guiding you through it all. It is the creation that was given in this world. You are being prepared for greater things. Believe it, and let that belief carry you forward. The pain that you carry is not a sign of weakness, nor is it evidence that you have been abandoned. It is the weight of transformation, a divine process that strips away all that is no longer meant for you. It feels heavy, but it is because something significant is being built within you. You are being fortified, strengthened from the inside out, made ready for what is to come. This is the mystery of divine preparation. The very things you wish to avoid are the tools being used to shape your destiny. Every tear you cry is counted, every moment of despair is seen, but do not let those tears fall without understanding their purpose. They are not wasted, they are watering the seeds of your future. Pain is the teacher that speaks in ways comfort never can. It challenges you, pushes you to your limits, and shows you what you are capable of enduring. In that endurance, something extraordinary is born: perseverance, character, and a hope that is unshakable. These are not traits you develop in times of ease. They are forged in the fires of trial. Consider the story of a gardener who plants a seed. The seed is buried in darkness, surrounded by soil. From the outside, it looks as though nothing is happening. Days, weeks, and months may pass, and still there is no visible sign of growth. But beneath the surface, where no one can see, the seed is breaking open, roots are stretching out, and life is beginning to take form. Your pain is the soil, your faith is the water, and your perseverance is the sunlight. Though you may feel buried, you are not forgotten. You are being cultivated. When life feels unbearable, it is easy to think that you are alone in your struggle. But remember that even in your solitude, God is with you. His presence is not always loud or obvious. It often whispers in moments of stillness, nudging you forward, reminding you to keep going. Sometimes it shows up in the form of a comforting word from a stranger, a scripture that resonates deeply, or a fleeting moment of peace that washes over you. These are signs that you are held, that you are not walking through this valley on your own. You may look at others and wonder why their paths seem smoother, their lives easier, but comparison is a thief of joy and a distraction from your unique journey. The challenges you face are tailored specifically for your growth, for your purpose. No one else can walk your path because no one else is destined to fulfill the role you are being prepared for. Trust that the weight you carry is not more than you can bear, for God's strength is made perfect in your weakness. The process of transformation is often painful because it requires letting go. Letting go of old habits, old mindsets, and even old relationships. These things may feel familiar and safe, but they cannot go with you to the next level. What lies ahead requires a lighter load. This shedding is not rejection, it is redirection. It is making space for the new blessings that are on their way. Trust the pruning, even when it feels like loss. It is not a subtraction, it is an addition in disguise. Pain has a way of isolating us, of making us feel as though no one else can understand what we are going through. But there is a deeper truth beneath this isolation. It is in these moments that we are drawn closer to God. When there is no one else to turn to, no one else who seems to understand, we are reminded of the one who knows us completely. This is an invitation to deepen your relationship with the divine, to seek guidance, comfort, and wisdom from the source of all life. The trials you face are not random, they are intentional. Each challenge is an opportunity to grow, to evolve, to become more aligned with your purpose. Sometimes the pain is a signal that something needs to change. It is a divine alarm clock, waking you up to areas of your life that need attention. It forces you to confront what you have been avoiding, to heal wounds you have ignored, and to take steps toward becoming the person you were created to be. In the midst of pain, it is easy to feel defeated, to believe that you are broken beyond repair. But what if, instead of seeing yourself as broken, you saw yourself as being rebuilt? The pieces of your life are not shattered, they are being rearranged. The process may be messy, and it may not make sense right now, but trust that the architect knows what he is doing. Every piece is being placed exactly where it needs to be, creating something far more beautiful than you could have imagined. Faith is not just believing in what you can see, it is trusting in what you cannot. It is holding on to the promise that your pain has a purpose, even when you cannot yet see the outcome. Faith does not eliminate the pain, but it gives you the strength to endure it. It reminds you that this moment is temporary, that better days are coming, and that every tear, every struggle, and every heartache is working together for your good. There will be moments when you feel like giving up, when the weight of it all feels too much to bear. In those moments, remember that you have come too far to turn back now. You have survived 100% of your worst days, and you will survive this too. You are stronger than you think, braver than you feel, and more capable than you realize. This pain is not here to destroy you. It is here to prepare you. When you feel weak, lean into the strength that comes from surrender. Surrender is not giving up. It is letting go of the need to control what is beyond your power. It is placing your trust in a higher power, in the one who sees the bigger picture. Surrender allows you to rest, to find peace in the midst of chaos, and to move forward with faith and confidence. Your journey is sacred, even when it feels messy. Your pain is holy, even when it feels unbearable. You are being prepared, refined, and positioned for greater things. Trust the process. Trust the pain. Trust the one who holds your life in his hands. The story is not over, and the best is yet to come. The moments of despair that seem unending are not here to define you, but to refine you. This is not a punishment, it is a process that is designed to strip away the unnecessary layers, the false beliefs and the doubts that hold you back. Each moment of pain is like the sculptor's chisel, carefully carving away the stone to reveal the masterpiece hidden within. You may not see it yet, but you are becoming something extraordinary. You are being prepared for a purpose greater than your imagination. The key to enduring this process is in shifting your focus. If you look at your pain only as a source of suffering, you miss its higher purpose. Instead, ask yourself, what is this teaching me? What strength is this building in me? What doors is this pain unlocking? When you change the lens through which you view your trials, you will begin to see them not as obstacles, but as opportunities. Opportunities to grow, to rise, to ascend into the fullness of your divine potential. There is a quiet wisdom in embracing the present moment, even when it hurts. The present moment holds the key to transformation because it is the only place where you can truly connect with the divine. When you resist what is happening, you create tension and prolong your suffering. But when you accept it, when you surrender to the experience, you open yourself up to the lessons it carries. This does not mean you stop hoping for better days. It means you find peace in the process, knowing that every step is leading you to something greater. Imagine a seed that has been planted in the earth. In its darkness, it cannot see the sun, and yet it pushes upward, stretching toward a light it instinctively knows is there. That is faith. The seed does not question the soil around it, nor does it doubt the rain that falls or the sun that warms the earth above. It trusts the process, even in its hiddenness. You are like that seed. Though you may feel buried under the weight of your trials, you are not forgotten. You are growing even in the dark. You are being nourished even when it feels like nothing is happening. Pain often brings with it the temptation to retreat, to close yourself off from the world. But isolation is not the answer. It is in connection with God, with others, and with yourself that healing takes place. Do not let your pain make you bitter or hard. Let it soften you. Let it open you up to the beauty that exists even in the midst of suffering. When you remain open, you create space for grace to flow in, for miracles to unfold, and for transformation to take root. You are not the person you were before the pain began, and that is a gift. Pain has a way of revealing who you truly are. It strips away the masks, the pretense, and the illusions. It forces you to confront your fears, to face your vulnerabilities, and to discover the strength you didn't know you had. This is not a breaking, it is a becoming. You are becoming the person you were always meant to be, stronger, wiser, and more aligned with your divine purpose. Every challenge you face is a stepping stone to something greater. It is easy to look at the mountain ahead and feel overwhelmed, but remember that you do not climb it in one leap. You climb it one step at a time. Each step, no matter how small, is progress. Each step brings you closer to the summit. Trust that the same power that created the mountain also resides within you, giving you the strength to climb it. There is a divine timing to all things. What you are experiencing now is not random, it is perfectly timed. The delays, the detours, and even the disappointments are all part of the plan. They are aligning you with your purpose, preparing you for the blessings that are on their way. Trust the timing. Trust that what is meant for you will not pass you by. Trust that the one who began a good work in you will carry it to completion. In moments of doubt, remind yourself of the promises that have been spoken over your life. Promises of hope, of a future, of plans to prosper you and not to harm you. These promises are not empty words. They are the foundation upon which you can stand. When the storms of life rage, hold on to those promises. They are your anchor, your guiding light, your source of strength. Now turn your attention to your beliefs and trust. In your mind, there is Allah. The pain you are enduring is not for nothing. It is the labor before the birth, the storm before the calm, the struggle before the victory. It is preparing you for the greater things that await you. Hold on, keep going. Trust the process, trust the pain. Trust the one who is working all things together for your good. You are being prepared for something extraordinary, something beyond your wildest dreams. And when the day comes, when you step into the fullness of your purpose, you will look back on this season with gratitude, knowing that every moment of pain was worth it. The pain you are feeling, the hurt that seems unbearable, is not a sign of defeat, nor is it something you must try to avoid or escape from. It is a necessary part of the transformation you are going through, shaping you for something greater. Life has a way of testing us, pushing us to the limits of our endurance, but it is through these trials that we grow and evolve into the people we are meant to be. Aha! Life is for. Each experience of pain, no matter how difficult it may seem, holds the key to unlocking a greater strength, a deeper wisdom, and a richer purpose within you. It's in the darkest moments that your true light begins to shine. When you are facing hardship, it can feel like the world is against you, as if the weight of the world is too much to carry. The fear of failure, the fear of not being enough, the fear of never being able to move past the pain can all feel overwhelming. But in those moments of darkness, remember that you are not abandoned. Pain is not a punishment, it is a tool for your growth. The same way a piece of coal becomes a diamond through intense heat and pressure, so too are you being refined. The trials you face are not meant to break you, but to mold you, to push you beyond the limitations you once thought you had. You may feel as though you are walking through a valley, unable to see the light at the end, but rest assured you are not walking alone. Every step you take through this pain is a step closer to your breakthrough. What you perceive as an obstacle is simply a stepping stone on your journey to becoming who you were always meant to be. God is using the pain to prepare you for the greatness that lies ahead. The challenge is not a sign of failure, but an invitation to rise. Growth does not happen in the absence of struggle. It happens when we are forced to confront our fears, when we are called to dig deep within ourselves to find strength we didn't know we had. Every challenge you face is a call to step into the next version of yourself. It's easy to look at your current situation and feel discouraged, but you must remind yourself that you are not defined. You are defined by how you respond to it, by your ability to rise above it, to find meaning and purpose in it. The obstacles you face today are the foundation for the strength you will possess tomorrow. The path to greatness is rarely straight, and it is never easy. There will be twists and turns, moments of uncertainty, and times when you want to quit. But every time you choose to press forward despite the pain, you are moving closer to the realization of your potential. Pain has a way of revealing what is hidden deep within us, uncovering qualities we did not know we possessed. It builds resilience, patience, and perseverance. It teaches us to trust not in our circumstances, but in the process. For every season of suffering, there is a season of restoration, and you are being prepared for that restoration. You may not understand why you are going through what you are going through, but trust that God does. He sees the bigger picture. He knows the plans He has for you, plans to prosper you and give you a future filled with hope. The pain you are experiencing is part of a divine plan, a plan that is unfolding in ways you may not yet understand. When you look at your current situation, you may only see the struggle. But when you look at your life from a higher perspective, you will see that every piece of pain and hardship is leading you toward your destiny. Everything that happens for a reason, and nothing is wasted in the grand design of life. It's easy to become consumed by the pain and lose sight of the bigger picture, but it's important to remember that everything you are going through is part of your story. It is a story of growth, transformation, and the unfolding of divine purpose. You are not where you are by accident, and your pain is not pointless. It is part of the process of your becoming. When you look back on this moment in the future, you will see how each moment of suffering was a stepping stone to your success, how each challenge was preparing you for something greater than you could have ever imagined. There is something incredibly powerful about embracing your pain. When you face it, acknowledge it, and surrender to the process, you give yourself permission to heal. You stop resisting the very thing that is meant to set you free. The resistance to pain often keeps us stuck, prolonging our suffering. But when you allow yourself to feel, to experience the emotions fully, you give them the space they need to move through you. Pain is not something to avoid, it is something to move through, something to grow from. The more you resist it, the longer it stays with you. But the moment you stop fighting, you begin to heal. Pain forces you to slow down and reflect. It brings your attention to areas of your life that need healing, areas that require growth, and areas that are calling for your attention. Often it is only when we are forced to stop that we begin to understand the deeper truths about ourselves. In the silence of our suffering, we are invited to listen to the whispers of our heart, to the guidance of the divine that is always present. Pain opens the door to a deeper connection with ourselves and with God, allowing us to hear His voice more clearly and to trust in His plan for us. In the midst of pain, it's easy to forget the bigger picture, to lose sight of the greater things that are being prepared for us. But every challenge, every trial, and every setback is a part of the journey. It is all necessary for your growth and your purpose. You are not alone in this. You are not abandoned. You are being prepared for something beyond your wildest dreams. Your pain is the catalyst for your breakthrough, the soil in which your dreams will take root and flourish. Keep moving forward, keep trusting the process, and keep believing that the best is yet to come. In moments of doubt, remind yourself that this is not the end. This is merely the beginning of something greater. The trials you face today are the building blocks for the life you are meant to live. When you look back, you will see how each struggle, each pain, each moment of difficulty was part of the divine preparation for the greatness that lies ahead. Trust in the process, trust in the timing, and know that everything you are going through is preparing you for a future filled with promise, hope, and unimaginable blessings. You are being shaped into the person you were always meant to be, and nothing, absolutely nothing, can stand in the way of what is destined for you. In the grand tapestry of life, the threads of pain and struggle are not random. They are woven with purpose, creating a design far greater than we can perceive in the moment. Your pain is not the end, it is the beginning of a transformation that will shape you into the person you were always meant to be. Trust that every tear, every hardship, and every trial is preparing you for greater things. The light of divine purpose shines even in the darkest moments, guiding you forward. Hold on to faith, embrace the process, and know that what lies ahead will far outweigh the struggles of today. You are being refined, strengthened, and prepared to step into a destiny that is nothing short of magnificent. There is a stirring in the depths of your soul, a call that whispers in the stillness, pulling you towards something greater than you can imagine. Yet the journey to your breakthrough is seldom gentle. It is a path carved through the very essence of who you are. When God prepares you, it often feels like everything you know is being unraveled. It is not to destroy you, but to awaken the divine power within you that has been waiting to emerge. In these moments, the world may seem to close in around you, as though every door you knock on refuses to open. Relationships that once felt secure may fall away, leaving you standing alone. Plans meticulously made may crumble, and the weight of uncertainty can feel unbearable. This is not punishment. This is preparation. The old must be stripped away so that the new may take its place. The discomfort is a sign that transformation is near. It is in these moments of pain and confusion that the seeds of greatness are sown. God tests us not to reveal our flaws, but to remind us of our strength. When trials come, it is a sign that you are being refined, like gold in the fire. It may feel as though life is pressing against you, but in truth, it is shaping you. The resistance you face is the tool that chisels away doubt, fear, and hesitation. It is in these tests that you begin to see glimpses of your own divine potential. Often, the signs that God is testing you are subtle, yet undeniable. You may feel a deep sense of restlessness, an inner knowing that where you are is no longer where you are meant to be. The world around you may seem to challenge you at every turn, as though life itself is pushing you to your limits. Doors that once opened with ease may now remain shut, urging you to look within for the answers you seek. Even the silence of God, which can feel so isolating, is a sign. It is in the silence that your faith is strengthened, teaching you to trust not in what you see, but in what you believe. There will be moments when you question everything, when the journey feels too long and the weight too heavy. But remember, the darkest hour is just before the dawn. The pain you feel is not the end, but the beginning. It is the labor before the birth, the storm before the calm. God's tests are not meant to break you, but to break open the barriers that have held you back. When you find yourself standing in the midst of this refining fire, do not despair. The very challenges you face are proof that you are being prepared for something extraordinary. God sees the dreams hidden in your heart, the desires you dare not speak aloud, and the potential you have yet to realize. Every obstacle, every moment of doubt is a step closer to the life that has been waiting for you all along. Trust the process. The pain is temporary, but the growth is eternal. The tests will pass, and when they do, you will stand not as the person you were, but as the person you were always meant to be. Hold on to your vision with unwavering faith, knowing that what is meant for you cannot be denied. And so when it hurts, know that you are not being abandoned. You are being prepared. When the world feels heavy, know that it is because you are being molded into something greater. Trust the signs, endure the tests, and keep your heart open. God's plan for your life is unfolding in ways that you cannot yet see. Every tear, every trial, every triumph is leading you closer to the breakthrough that awaits. Now, when the weight of the world seems to press down on you, when the voices of doubt grow louder and the path ahead seems obscured, it is easy to lose sight of the bigger picture. In these moments, you may wonder why everything feels like a struggle, why things are not unfolding the way you envisioned. It is in these moments, however, that you must remember that preparation is not always pleasant. It is often uncomfortable, even painful, but it is always purposeful. God, in His infinite wisdom, knows that true transformation does not come from comfort. True growth is forged in the fires of adversity. Just as a diamond is formed under immense pressure, your soul, your spirit, and your potential are being refined in ways that you may not fully understand now, but you will soon. The discomfort, the isolation, the seemingly endless waiting, all of these are signs that something extraordinary is being birthed within you. And the pain you feel is a necessary part of that process. During times of preparation, you will find that the world begins to feel different. Your circumstances may change, relationships may shift, and opportunities may seem to disappear. But this is not a time to retreat or to shrink back. This is the moment to stand firm in your faith, to trust that God's hand is guiding you even when you cannot see the way. You will be tested in ways you never imagined, but every test is meant to draw out a strength you did not know you had. When God is preparing you for your breakthrough, you will be led into situations that challenge your very core. People will come and go, and some of those departures may feel like losses, but they are not. Every person who leaves your life was never meant to walk with you to the next level. Their absence is simply making room for those who will walk with you in the fullness of your purpose. It may not make sense at first, but trust that God's plan is always greater than our understanding. And then there will be the testing of your patience. You will feel as though the answer you've been waiting for is just out of reach, always just beyond your grasp. There will be moments when you question whether you're on the right path, moments when the waiting feels unbearable. It is in these times that God is stretching your capacity for trust. He is teaching you that His timing is perfect, even when it feels delayed. The waiting is not a sign of rejection, but rather a period of growth and preparation. God is aligning everything in your life to position you for your breakthrough, and sometimes that requires patience that stretches your faith. The tests will come in many forms, and they will often challenge your beliefs. You may encounter situations that test your integrity, your ability to forgive, or your willingness to love even when it feels impossible. It is in these moments that the true nature of your character is revealed. God is shaping you into someone who can carry the weight of your destiny, someone who is ready to step into the fullness of what He has planned for you. These tests are not designed to break you, but to build you up, to strengthen your foundation so that when the breakthrough comes, you will be prepared to handle it with grace and wisdom. Another sign that God is preparing you is the sense of disconnection you may feel. You may notice that certain desires or passions no longer hold the same appeal, and the things that once brought you joy now feel empty. This is God's way of leading you inward, of guiding you to align your heart and your mind with your true purpose. He is removing distractions, gently guiding you away from what is no longer serving you so that you can focus on what truly matters. It is easy to become attached to the temporary, but God is preparing you for the eternal. His plan for your life is so much greater than what you can see in this moment, and He is aligning you with a vision that transcends anything you've ever imagined. In the midst of the pain, the waiting, and the testing, it is important to remember that you are never alone. Even when it feels as though everything is falling apart, God is with you, working in the unseen, orchestrating every detail of your life for your good. The struggles you face are not random. They are part of a divine plan that is unfolding exactly as it should. When you feel weary, when you feel like you cannot go on, remind yourself that your breakthrough is on the horizon. It is just beyond the storm, just after the struggle. The road may be hard, but the destination is worth every step. As you move through the testing phases, there will be moments when doubt tries to creep in. Moments when you wonder if you're really cut out for this. You will question your worth, your ability, and your purpose. But let me remind you that these doubts are not a reflection of your true self. They are simply the noise of fear and uncertainty, trying to drown out the still small voice within you that knows you are capable. You have been prepared for this moment. You have the strength, the wisdom, and the resilience to overcome anything that comes your way. God has already equipped you with everything you need to succeed. In the silence of the tests, in the midst of the struggle, remember to keep your focus on the vision God has placed in your heart. Even when the world around you is chaotic, hold on to the dream that has been implanted within you. This dream is not just for you, it is for the greater good. The breakthrough that is coming is not only for your benefit, but for the benefit of those around you. God is preparing you to be a vessel of His love, grace, and power. The breakthrough you are about to experience will not just change your life, it will touch the lives of everyone you encounter. God's preparation is never wasted. It may be hard, it may be painful, and it may be uncomfortable, but every moment of struggle is laying the foundation for something greater. You are being shaped into the person you were always meant to be. And with each test, you are moving closer to the fulfillment of your destiny. The signs that God is testing you are not signs of abandonment or failure. They are signs of His deep love and His commitment to your growth. He is not punishing you, He is preparing you for the life that He has promised. Trust in the process. Even when it seems difficult to understand, know that every trial, every test, and every moment of discomfort is a part of the greater story that God is writing in your life. And when the breakthrough comes, you will see clearly why the preparation was necessary. You will look back with gratitude, knowing that it was through the fire that you were made stronger, wiser, and more capable than you ever imagined. 2. The breakthrough you've been waiting for is coming, and it will be more than worth the pain, the waiting, and the tests. As you stand at the crossroads of uncertainty, feeling the weight of every obstacle that seems to block your path, know this: these trials are not in vain. There is a purpose behind every moment of hardship, every struggle you face. It may feel as though the universe is working against you, as though the very things you've worked for and dreamed about are slipping away from your grasp. But in reality, what is happening is that God is positioning you. He is preparing you, not to break you, but to elevate you to a place of greater understanding, greater capacity, and greater strength. This is a divine preparation, one that must be endured, not resisted. During the moments of hardship, the storms of doubt, and the silence that may feel deafening, remember that you are being refined. When God prepares you, it often means breaking you down so He can build you back up, stronger, more resilient, and more aligned with His purpose for your life. It is not an easy process, but it is a necessary one. The things that are being stripped away are often the very things that have kept you from stepping into your fullest potential. So the distractions, the insecurities, the fears, these must all fall away, so that you can stand in the fullness of who you are meant to be. In the midst of this process, you may notice signs that God is testing you, signs that the preparation is underway. One of the most evident signs is the discomfort you feel, the unease, the restlessness, the feeling that something inside of you is being stretched beyond its limits. It may seem as though your life is in chaos, as though the very foundation you build everything on is crumbling. But this is not the end. This is the moment when God is working in the hidden places of your soul, pruning away the parts of you that are not in alignment with His vision for your life. Every tear you shed, every moment of confusion, is part of the process of renewal. Just as a seed must die before it can sprout, so too must your old self die to make way for the new. You will face moments of isolation, times when you feel as though you are walking alone. These are the moments when God is teaching you to rely on Him and Him alone. The friendships, relationships, and connections that once felt solid may start to fade, and you may begin to question why. The truth is that when God prepares you for greatness, He often removes people from your life who would have hindered your progress. They may not intentionally hold you back, but their presence, their energy, may distract you from the path that God is calling you to walk. The pain of loss is real, but it is temporary. In time, you will come to see that the people who left were not part of the destiny that God is unfolding for you. You will be led to the right people, those who will support, uplift, and encourage you as you continue to grow into the person you were always meant to be. At times, the tests will come in the form of rejection. You may put forth your best efforts, and yet the doors you knock on may remain closed. This can be discouraging, especially when you've worked so hard, invested so much, and believed in the promises you've received. But rejection is not a sign of failure. It is simply redirection. God is guiding you to the right door, the one that will open to your purpose. Every no is simply a step closer to the right yes. Trust that the closed doors are not barriers, but signs that something better is ahead. The process of preparation is one of refining your purpose, of aligning your steps with God's perfect plan, and sometimes that requires a series of no's before the right opportunity presents itself. Then there are the moments when you feel as though you are being tested in the very core of who you are. These tests are often the most difficult, as they challenge your character, your beliefs, and your trust in God. You may be called to forgive those who have hurt you, to extend grace where you feel none is deserved, and to love when it feels impossible. These tests are not for your harm, they are for your healing. In forgiving others, you free yourself from the chains of bitterness and resentment that have bound you. In extending grace, you are reminded that you too have received grace from God. These moments of testing are the ones that refine your character, making you more compassionate, more humble, and more in tune with the heart of God. It is through these tests that you learn the true meaning of love, of sacrifice, and of forgiveness. Another sign that God is preparing you is the feeling of being stretched beyond what you thought you were capable of. The demands on your time, your energy, and your resources may feel overwhelming, and you may wonder how much more you can take. This feeling of being stretched is actually a sign that you are growing. Growth always requires discomfort, and it always requires pushing past what you thought were your limits. It is in these moments that you discover new depths within yourself, new strengths that you never knew existed. God will never give you more than you can handle, and though it may feel as though you are at your breaking point, know that you are being stretched to make room for the greatness that is coming. The more you endure, the more you grow, and the more you are prepared to receive the blessings that God has in store for you. During this time of preparation, you may also feel as though you are in a season of waiting. The answers to your prayers may seem delayed, and the promises you've received may feel as though they are just out of reach. This period of waiting is often the most challenging, for it requires patience, trust, and faith. But it is also one of the most important. In the waiting, God is doing the work inside of you that is necessary for your breakthrough. He is deepening your trust, teaching you that His timing is perfect. The waiting is not wasted. It is a time of growth, a time of inner development that will position you for the next step of your journey. You will also notice that during times of preparation, your desires may shift. The things that once brought you joy may no longer hold the same appeal, and the things that once seemed important may now seem insignificant. This is God leading you to align your desires with His will. As you grow spiritually, your heart will begin to reflect the desires of God's heart. The distractions that once seemed to pull you away will no longer have the same power over you. You will begin to desire what He desires for you, a life of purpose, a life of impact, a life that reflects His glory. It is also in the waiting that you will learn the most important lesson of all, to trust in God's plan, even when you don't understand it. The process of preparation is not always clear, and the path may not always seem straight. There will be moments of confusion, moments when you question if you are on the right path at all. But God's ways are higher than our ways, and His understanding far surpasses our own. When you cannot see the full picture, trust that He is working behind the scenes, arranging the details of your life for your good. The more you endure, the more you are tested, the closer you come to your breakthrough. Every moment of pain, every tear, every struggle is a necessary part of the process. The tests will come and you will be stretched, but through it all, you are being prepared for the life that God has promised you. When the breakthrough finally comes, you will look back and see that every test, every trial, every struggle was worth it. You will stand in the fullness of who you were always meant to be, ready to step into the destiny that has been waiting for you all along. As you continue through this journey, you will notice that each trial and hardship is like a chisel shaping the raw stone of your character. In the fire of adversity, your weaknesses are revealed, but they are not meant to destroy you. Rather, they are opportunities for you to recognize areas where you need growth. When you face challenges, do not be disheartened. These moments serve to strengthen you. You are not being punished. Rather, you are being prepared. Your faith will be tested, your patience tried, but it is in these moments that you will discover the depths of your own resilience. The higher the mountain, the more glorious the view from the summit. The weight of the burden you carry now will seem small in comparison to the rewards that await you. In the midst of the struggle, you may wonder why certain things are happening. You may question why you're facing such hardship, why it feels as though the odds are stacked against you. But understand this, God is not trying to make your life difficult for the sake of difficulty. The challenges are not meaningless. They are opportunities for transformation. When God prepares you, He prepares you not just for your current situation, but for what is coming next. Every struggle you face now is equipping you with the wisdom, the strength, and the grace you will need for the next chapter of your life. You may not be able to see it now, but the things that seem like setbacks today are actually positioning you for something greater. The process of preparation is often a solitary one. There will be moments when you feel isolated, when you feel that no one understands the burden you carry or the pain you feel. But during these times of solitude, know that you are not truly alone. It is in these quiet moments that God draws close to you. He speaks to you in the silence, guiding you, comforting you, and preparing you for the breakthrough that is on its way. The isolation you feel is not abandonment. It is an invitation to deepen your relationship with Him. In the absence of distractions, you are free to hear His voice more clearly. In the stillness, you may discover that the things you thought were important are no longer a priority. The things you thought would bring you joy may begin to lose their appeal, and the things that truly matter will come into sharper focus. The people who once occupied your life may drift away, and you may find yourself letting go of things that no longer serve you. This shedding process, though painful, is necessary for growth. When I went to retreat, as you release what is no longer meant for you, you make room for the things that are. God is not taking from you. He is creating space for your future. Trust in this process, even when it feels uncomfortable. Trust that He is working behind the scenes, orchestrating every detail of your life in accordance with His perfect plan. You may also notice that during this time of preparation, your sense of self will be tested. The pain, the rejection, the challenges. These will all force you to confront parts of yourself you may not want to face. But this is where true growth happens. When God is preparing you, He often does so by shining a light on your weaknesses, your insecurities, and your fears. These are not weaknesses to be ashamed of. They are areas of potential. The purpose of the testing is to refine you, to turn you into the person who is fully capable of handling the blessings that are coming. You are not being broken down for the sake of breaking you. You are being broken open so that you can grow into the fullness of your potential. And as you walk through the fire, you will find that your faith will begin to take on new dimensions. Faith, when tested, is no longer a theoretical belief. It becomes a lived experience. You will learn to rely on God in ways you never thought possible. When everything around you seems uncertain, you will find that He is the only constant. He is the anchor that holds you steady when the storms of life rage around you. And the tests are not meant to diminish your faith. They are meant to strengthen it. Each trial you face will be a stepping stone to a deeper, more unwavering trust in God's timing and His purpose for your life. During this time of preparation, you may also encounter doubts, not just from others, but from within yourself. The voice of doubt may rise up, whispering that you are not capable, that you are not worthy, that you will never make it through. But those are the very moments when you must choose to silence that voice and affirm the truth of who you are. You are a child of God, fearfully and wonderfully made. His plans for you are good, and He will never leave you nor forsake you. The doubts you face are merely distractions, designed to keep you from stepping into your true power. When you feel unsure, speak the truth over your life. Declare that you are equipped for every challenge and that you are more than capable of overcoming whatever comes your way. One of the greatest tests you will face is the test of timing. You may feel that things are moving too slowly, or that the breakthrough you've been praying for is taking too long to materialize. But God's timing is perfect. What may seem like a delay is simply God's way of ensuring that everything is in place when the time is right. Trust that the things you are waiting for are on their way, but they must come at the right time. Do not rush the process. Do not attempt to force what is not yet ready. Trust in the season you are in, knowing that every moment of waiting is a moment of preparation. As you wait, you are becoming the person who is fully capable of handling the blessings that God is about to pour out on you. When you are being tested, you may also experience a sense of confusion or lack of direction. It may seem as though you are walking through life blindly, not knowing where you are going or what your next step should be. But even in these moments, God is leading you. The path may not always be clear, but if you keep moving forward, you will eventually see where He is guiding you. Faith does not always mean knowing the next step. It means trusting God with each step, even when the road ahead is uncertain. The confusion you feel now is only temporary. As you continue to walk in faith, the path will become clearer, and you will see the wisdom in the journey you've been on. As you move through these times of preparation, know that you are not alone in your struggles. Others have walked this path before you and emerged stronger, wiser, and more capable. Your tests are not unique. They are universal experiences that prepare us for the greatness that is to come. But your journey is yours alone, and it is uniquely designed to lead you to your own breakthrough. There is purpose in every struggle, meaning in every challenge, and beauty in every lesson learned. Remember that each challenge you face is not an obstacle, but an opportunity. It is an opportunity to grow, to deepen your faith, and to align yourself with the divine purpose that God has for your life. When God prepares you, it will hurt. It will stretch you. It will challenge you in ways you never imagined. But through it all, you will emerge stronger, more confident, and more fully aligned with the vision that God has for you. The process may be painful, but the breakthrough is worth it. And when it comes, you will understand why you had to go through everything you did. In the moments of discomfort and confusion, you might feel as though you are walking in the dark, but know that even in the darkness, God is with you. His presence is not limited to the times when everything is clear, when everything is going according to plan. His presence surrounds you even in the moments when it seems like everything is falling apart. When God prepares you, it is not just for the blessings you expect. It is for something far greater than you could ever imagine. Your journey is part of a grand design, and every hardship, every trial, every waiting period is a necessary piece of that puzzle. The pain you experience today will be transformed into power. The struggles will become the foundation for your strength. The tears you shed will water the soil for the harvest that is to come. There is no season that is wasted when God is involved. Even when it seems like you are buried in the earth, you are only being planted. Just as a seed must break open to grow into something greater, you too must go through a process of breaking and reshaping. What seems like the end is only the beginning. Each experience that feels like a setback is actually moving you closer to your destiny. You will look back one day and see how every tear, every challenge, every time you felt broken was part of your transformation into the person you were meant to become. Understand that during these difficult seasons, the refining process is preparing you for greater things. You might think that the circumstances you are facing are unmanageable, but in truth, God is using those situations to teach you lessons that you will carry with you for the rest of your life. These lessons are not meant to break you, but to shape you into the person you need to be in order to handle the greatness that lies ahead. When you stand on the other side of your struggle, you will find that you are stronger, wiser, and more capable than you ever imagined. In this preparation, there may also be a sense of frustration as you struggle to see the purpose in your pain. You might ask, why is this happening to me? But when you are in the midst of the storm, it can be difficult to understand the divine reason behind your struggles. Trust that there is a reason for everything. The lessons you are learning now will serve you in ways you cannot yet comprehend. The pain will make sense one day when you look back and see how it all fits together. You are being prepared for something greater than you can even fathom. The process is necessary. The struggle is not in vain. As you move through the preparation phase, you may also experience moments of doubt. But it is important to recognize that doubt is not a sign of weakness. Doubt is simply a natural response to uncertainty. It is not a reflection of your faith, but an opportunity to affirm your belief. When doubt arises, you have the chance to deepen your trust in God. Doubt is a test, a reminder that your faith is something that needs to be cultivated, just like a muscle that becomes stronger with use. Every time you face doubt and choose to trust, your faith grows stronger. It's in the moments of uncertainty that you learn to rely not on your own understanding, but on the understanding of the one who sees the bigger picture. As you navigate this journey of preparation, you may also find that your desires and dreams are becoming clearer. In the quiet moments of reflection, you begin to realize what truly matters to you. The distractions of the world fade away, and you start to understand what your heart truly desires. God has placed these desires within you for a reason, and as you move through your preparation, you will begin to see how these desires align with your purpose. It is in these moments of clarity that you can begin to affirm with confidence that what you want is already on its way. The preparation is not only about enduring the pain, but also about clarifying your vision for the future. You are being guided toward the life that God has planned for you, and with each step, you are moving closer to realizing that vision. When God prepares you, there will be moments where you feel like you're being stretched beyond your limits. The demands of life seem overwhelming, and you wonder how you will ever make it through. But know that the stretching you experience is not meant to break you. It is meant to expand your capacity. The discomfort you feel now is enlarging your heart, your mind, and your spirit. You are being stretched so that you can handle the abundance and blessings that are coming your way. Just as a muscle grows stronger through resistance, you too will grow stronger through the resistance you face. It may not be easy, but the growth that results will be worth the struggle. One of the most significant things to remember during this time of preparation is that you are never alone. Even when it feels like you are walking through this journey on your own, God is with you every step of the way. His love is unwavering, and His presence is constant. He sees you. He knows your pain. He understands your frustration, and He is working all things together for your good. In the moments when you feel lost, He is guiding you. In the moments when you feel weak, He is strengthening you. In the moments when you feel afraid, He is comforting you. You are not abandoned. You are not forsaken. You are being prepared for a breakthrough, and God's hand is upon you. As you endure the testing and preparation, it is also important to remain patient. The road may seem long and the progress may seem slow, but everything is unfolding in the right timing. Your breakthrough will not be delayed. It is simply waiting for the perfect moment. Trust in God's timing, even when you do not understand it. The waiting is not wasted. It is part of the process of refinement. When the time is right, the doors will open, and you will step into the fullness of what God has prepared for you. There will be moments in this process where you will question everything. But when that happens, remember that this is part of the journey. Do not be afraid to question, to wrestle, to seek clarity, but do so with the knowledge that God will reveal to you what you need to know at the right time. The answers will come when your heart is open and your mind is still. It is in the quiet moments of reflection that you will receive the wisdom you need to move forward. Trust that you will be shown the way, and in those moments of clarity, you will see how each step has brought you closer to your breakthrough. The preparation may hurt, but it is not in vain. The pain is part of the process of becoming the person you need to be to receive the blessings that are already on their way. You are being prepared for something extraordinary. Your breakthrough is coming, and when it does, you will see that every struggle, every trial, every moment of pain was worth it. What lies ahead is beyond your imagination, and you are being shaped and molded for that purpose. Embrace the process, trust the journey. Know that you are not alone, and that everything you are going through is leading you to the breakthrough that God has prepared for you. Through the testing, through the pain, and through the waiting, remember that God's purpose for you will never fail. The road ahead may be uncertain, and the times may feel like you are being pushed to your limits, but each step, each trial, and each moment of doubt is part of the divine plan. Trust in the process, for God's timing is never early or late, it is always perfect. Every challenge you face is not random. It is divinely orchestrated. Each difficulty is placed in your life to lead you to a higher version of yourself. The struggles you experience now are shaping you, refining you, and molding you into the person who will receive your breakthrough. There will be moments when you feel like you cannot go any further. You will feel the weight of the world on your shoulders, and you may even question if you are worthy of the breakthrough you are waiting for. But in those moments of doubt, remember that you are exactly where you are meant to be. The pain and discomfort you are experiencing are not signs that you are failing, they are signs that you are growing. The more you are stretched, the more your capacity to receive will increase. You are being prepared to receive a blessing so great that it will exceed all of your expectations. You cannot grow unless you go through a process of growth, and sometimes growth requires pain. Do not run from it, embrace it, knowing that God is using it for your good. Your breakthrough is not dependent on how perfectly you handle the challenges that come your way. It is not about being flawless, but about remaining faithful, patient, and trusting in God's plan for your life. When things seem impossible, when you feel like you've reached your limit, trust that God is working behind the scenes. He is orchestrating things in your favor. His plans for you are bigger than you can comprehend. The obstacles you face are just stepping stones on the path to your victory. There will be days when you feel isolated, as though you are walking this journey alone. You may look around and feel like others are advancing while you are stuck. But remember that God's timing is not based on the world's standards. While others may seem to have it all together, their paths may not be aligned with the purpose that God has for you. Your journey is unique, and you are not on a timeline set by anyone but God. Trust that He knows exactly what you need and when you need it. The waiting may feel long, but it is in the waiting that you are being prepared. You are not being punished, you are being refined, just as gold is purified in fire. As you move forward, continue to stay grounded in your faith. Understand that no matter how long the process may seem, the outcome will always be worth the wait. The pain of the present will fade in comparison to the glory that is ahead. The key is to stay connected to your faith, to trust that God is doing something incredible in your life. You may not see it now, but every moment of struggle, every moment of hardship is shaping you into the person who will stand in the fullness of your breakthrough when it arrives. During the process of preparation, you may begin to notice certain things happening in your life. You may begin to feel a sense of urgency, like the time is coming for something great, but you are unsure of when or how it will happen. This feeling is not one of anxiety, but one of divine anticipation. Your spirit is being attuned to the frequency of your breakthrough. The universe is beginning to line up the circumstances, and your heart is beginning to feel the pull of your future. This is a sign that God is moving you closer to the manifestation of what you have been waiting for. Your inner being is beginning to sense that the breakthrough is near, even though your outer circumstances may not yet reflect it. The energy is shifting, and you will soon find yourself in a season of reward for the tests you've endured. The more you endure, the more you are becoming like the person you were meant to be. With each step, you are becoming someone who can handle the blessings that are on the way. The person you are today is not the person who will receive your breakthrough. You are being shaped, expanded, and elevated. God does not want you to simply receive blessings. He wants to ensure that you are ready for them. His purpose for you is greater than just a temporary blessing. It is about preparing you for a lasting legacy. During this time, it is also crucial to practice gratitude. It may seem difficult to be thankful in the midst of hardship, but gratitude is a powerful tool in shifting your perspective. When you express gratitude, you acknowledge that God is with you in every moment. Even in the difficulty, there is always something to be thankful for. Gratitude opens the door for more blessings to flow into your life. It is a way of declaring that you trust God's plan, even when you cannot see the full picture. Through gratitude, you align your heart with God's will, and you begin to see His hand at work in every detail of your life. You might also notice that as God prepares you, He begins to refine your desires. What you thought you wanted in the past may no longer align with the purpose He has for you. Some of the things you once held dear may begin to lose their hold on you. God is realigning your heart to what truly matters. As He strips away the distractions, He is making space for the new desires that align with your true purpose. Trust that this process of refinement is for your benefit. The things that are being removed from your life were never meant to stay. They were simply stepping stones, leading you to the place where you will find fulfillment and peace. This period of preparation may also involve a deepening of your relationship with God. As you walk through the fire, you begin to understand that He is not just a distant figure, but a close and personal presence. You will come to realize that you can rely on Him in every circumstance. As you face your challenges, you will find that His peace surpasses all understanding. The connection you have with God during this time will be what carries you through. He is your strength, your refuge, and your constant source of support. You will come to know Him in ways you never imagined, and this intimate relationship will be the foundation for your breakthrough. As you grow in trust and faith, you will also see that the people around you may change. Some relationships will fall away, while others will grow stronger. God will surround you with the right people, those who will support, encourage, and uplift you as you move closer to your breakthrough. There will be those who will stand by your side, and there will be those who will leave. But trust that God is guiding each of these movements. So He is removing the wrong people so that you can be surrounded by those who will help you fulfill your purpose. Trust that the relationships that remain in your life are the ones that are meant to be there, and they will help you move forward. When you go through this preparation process, you may feel like you are being stretched in every direction. You might feel torn between your desires, your responsibilities, and your dreams. But know this, all of these things are working together for your good. Every experience, every challenge, and every moment of discomfort is bringing you closer to your breakthrough. The pressure you feel now will soon be replaced with peace, purpose, and fulfillment. Remember that the struggle you are enduring now is temporary, but the results of your preparation are eternal. The breakthrough that is waiting for you on the other side is something that will last. The blessings, the lessons, and the wisdom you gain will be with you for the rest of your life. God is not just preparing you for a moment, He is preparing you for a lifetime of greatness. The process may be painful, but the reward will be worth it. Trust that every challenge, every test, and every moment of difficulty is shaping you into the person you were destined to be. Hold on to your faith, for your breakthrough is closer than you think. In conclusion, remember that every challenge, every moment of discomfort, and every test you endure is part of a grand design, a design that is leading you to a breakthrough beyond your imagination. God's preparation is never in vain. While it may hurt, it is necessary to shape you into the person you are meant to become. Trust in His timing, for He is working behind the scenes, orchestrating every detail of your life. Even when you feel alone, when the weight seems unbearable, or when doubt creeps in, hold on to your faith. Know that the pain is only temporary, but the rewards of your perseverance are eternal. The breakthrough you are waiting for is not just a momentary victory, it is a transformation that will impact your life for years to come. Stay grounded in trust, embrace the process, and know that with each test, you are being refined and prepared for something greater. Your breakthrough is coming, and when it does, you will stand firm, knowing that every trial and tribulation was worth it. Keep moving forward, for God is with you, and He is preparing you for greatness. There are moments in life when the world feels silent, when the noise of familiar voices fades, and the presence of others becomes a distant memory. You look around and wonder why it feels as though you've been set apart, placed in a season of solitude that you never sought. It's in these moments, these quiet corners of existence, that the true work of transformation begins. God does not isolate you to punish you. He isolates you to prepare you. You see, there is a divine wisdom in separation, a sacred purpose in being alone. When the distractions of the world fall away, the stillness allows you to hear what you could not hear before. It is in the silence that God speaks, not in loud, thunderous declarations, but in a gentle whisper that requires your full attention. In the stillness, you begin to uncover the truth about yourself. Not the version of you shaped by the opinions of others, but the divine essence within you that has always been present. Isolation is the furnace where impurities are burned away. It is uncomfortable, yes, but it is necessary. Gold is not refined in comfort, it is refined in fire. And so God pulls you aside, away from the influences that dilute your purpose, away from the voices that drown out His guidance. He strips away the things you once clung to so tightly, not because He wishes to deprive you, but because He knows they were never meant to stay. What you lose in isolation is often what was holding you back from stepping into the fullness of who you are meant to be. In this sacred solitude, you begin to confront the illusions you've carried for far too long. The belief that you are small, unworthy, or incapable starts to crumble. You begin to see yourself as God sees you, not as a victim of circumstances, but as a creator of possibilities. You realize that the isolation is not separation, but elevation. God is lifting you to a higher plane of awareness, where you can see clearly, where you can understand the magnitude of the blessings He is preparing for you. When you are isolated, God often removes the familiar to teach you to trust in the unseen. The people and things you once leaned on are no longer within reach, not because they are wrong, but because God wants to show you that His strength is sufficient. He wants you to understand that your faith is not rooted in the tangible, but in the eternal. You are being taught to walk by faith and not by sight, to trust in the promise even when you cannot see the path. There is a profound intimacy that comes with this process. In the isolation, God draws closer. He whispers truths into your heart that the noise of the world would have drowned out. He shows you visions of what is to come, not as a distant hope, but as a certainty that already exists. The solitude becomes a sanctuary where you and God co-create, where you align your desires with His will, and in this alignment, the impossible becomes inevitable. You must remember that every great transformation is preceded by a period of preparation. The seed is buried in the darkness before it breaks forth into the light. The caterpillar retreats into the cocoon before it emerges as a butterfly. These moments of stillness, of isolation, are not the end, they are the beginning. They are the sacred pause before the divine unveiling. And God isolates you to strengthen you, to prepare you for the weight of the blessing that is on its way. He knows that without this period of refinement, you would not be able to carry the magnitude of what He has in store for you. He is not withholding from you, He is equipping you. He is teaching you to stand firm, to trust deeply, and to know without a shadow of a doubt that His timing is perfect. So as you walk through this season of isolation, do not despair. Recognize it for what it is, a sacred invitation to rise higher, to grow deeper, and to step into the fullness of your destiny. In the stillness, something remarkable begins to happen. What once felt like loneliness transforms into a sacred meeting ground. You start to see that isolation is not about what is being taken from you, but about what is being revealed within you. When God removes the outer distractions, He unveils the inner truths. These truths have always been there, waiting, but they were overshadowed by the noise, the expectations, and the rush of life. You begin to sense that you are being molded into something greater. It is a process that cannot be rushed. God is patient because He knows the masterpiece He is creating in you requires time. It requires stripping away layers that no longer serve you, layers of doubt, fear, and insecurity. It requires breaking free from old patterns and embracing a new vision of yourself that aligns with His purpose. Often, the greatest battles are not with the world around you, but with the thoughts and emotions that arise within you. In isolation, these inner battles become clear. You cannot hide from them or distract yourself from them. They surface in full force, and it can feel overwhelming. But even this is part of the divine plan. For how can you conquer what you do not face? How can you heal what you do not acknowledge? The solitude brings to light what must be addressed, so that you can step into your blessings without carrying the weight of the past. This process is not meant to weaken you, but to strengthen you. God allows you to wrestle with these challenges because He knows you have the power to overcome them. He sees the potential in you even when you cannot. In these moments you are invited to trust, not in what you see, not in what you feel, but in the promise that God has placed within you. That promise is unwavering. It is as sure as the rising sun, and it will come to pass in its perfect time. As the days stretch on, you may wonder why the process takes so long. Why must you endure this season of isolation when the blessings could come in an instant? But you must understand that the blessing is not just the external reward. It is the transformation that takes place within you. God is not only preparing the blessing for you, He is preparing you for the blessing. He is enlarging your capacity to receive, to hold, and to steward the abundance that is coming your way. Imagine for a moment a vessel being prepared to hold water. If the vessel is too small or fragile, it cannot contain what is poured into it. The weight of the water would cause it to crack or overflow, and so the vessel must be strengthened, expanded, and refined. This is what God is doing in your life. He is shaping you into a vessel capable of holding the fullness of His blessings without breaking under the weight. It is in isolation that you learn the art of surrender. Surrender is not giving up, it is giving over. It is releasing the need to control every detail and trusting that God's plan is infinitely greater than anything you could imagine. It is letting go of the timeline you've created in your mind and aligning yourself with divine timing. Surrender does not mean passivity. It means active faith. It means stepping forward even when the path is unclear, because you trust that each step is guided. In this sacred surrender, you begin to see that the isolation is not a punishment but a privilege. Not everyone is called to this level of refinement. Not everyone is chosen to carry the blessings that require such deep preparation. The isolation is a mark of God's favor, a sign that He sees something extraordinary in you. It is a season of sacred trust, where God entrusts you with the responsibility of becoming who you were always meant to be. Through this process, you also learn the value of gratitude. Gratitude becomes your anchor, your compass, and your lifeline. Even in the quietest moments when nothing seems to be happening, you find reasons to give thanks. You thank God not only for the blessings that are visible, but for the unseen work He is doing behind the scenes. You thank Him for the strength you are gaining, for the lessons you are learning, and for the person you are becoming. The act of gratitude shifts your perspective. What once felt like isolation begins to feel like sanctuary. You realize that this time is a gift, a rare opportunity to grow closer to God and to yourself. In the stillness, you discover the richness of His presence. You find that His love is enough, His grace is sufficient, and His plans are perfect. You come to understand that you are never truly alone, for God is with you in every moment, guiding you, supporting you, and preparing you. As you lean into this process, something extraordinary begins to happen. The desires of your heart start to align with the desires of God's heart. The things you once thought you needed may fade away, replaced by a deeper understanding of what truly matters. You begin to see the beauty in simplicity, the power in faith, and the joy in obedience. You realize that the blessings God has for you are not just material, but spiritual. They are blessings of peace, purpose, and fulfillment. And then, almost without realizing it, you notice a shift within yourself. The things that once unsettled you no longer have power over you. The doubts that once plagued your mind are replaced by unwavering faith. The fear that once held you back is replaced by boldness. You are no longer the same person you were when this journey began. You have been transformed, refined, and prepared. This transformation is the greatest blessing of all. For when the external blessings arrive, you will not be overwhelmed by them. You will be ready to receive them with gratitude and grace. You will understand that the blessings are not the destination, but the confirmation of the work God has done within you. They are the fruit of the seeds that were planted in the season of isolation, watered by your faith and nurtured by your surrender. And as you step into this new season, you carry with you the wisdom gained in solitude. You carry the knowledge that God's plans are always greater than your own. You carry the assurance that even in the quietest moments, God is working. You carry the strength that was forged in the fire of refinement, the faith that was deepened in the stillness, and the love that was revealed in the silence. This journey is not just for you. The transformation you experience will ripple out into the lives of others. Your testimony will become a beacon of hope for those who are still in their season of isolation. Your faith will inspire others to trust in God's timing, to embrace the process, and to believe in the promises He has spoken over their lives. You will become a living example of what it means to walk by faith, to trust in the unseen, and to step into the fullness of God's purpose. And so the season of isolation becomes a season of preparation, transformation, and revelation. It is a sacred journey that leads you not only to the blessings God has for you, but to the realization of the divine power within you. For in the stillness, you come to understand that God's greatest work is not done to you, but through you. And that is where the true miracle lies. As the transformation unfolds, you begin to perceive a divine rhythm in all things. You recognize that the isolation was never meant to break you, but to break open the barriers within you that kept you from fully receiving God's grace. Each moment of stillness becomes a brush stroke in the masterpiece of your life. Each challenge a necessary ingredient in the refining fire. The isolation taught you patience, not the kind of patience that merely waits, but the kind that trusts deeply in what is yet unseen. You start to grasp that blessings are not handed out randomly, but prepared for those who are prepared to receive them. The journey of isolation is the process by which you are prepared. Every delay, every setback, and every moment of uncertainty is working to align you with something greater than your current understanding. You realize that the world's definition of success is fleeting, while God's blessings are eternal. And in that realization, your priorities shift. You no longer chase what is temporary, for your spirit yearns for what is lasting and true. The more you lean into this journey, the more you feel God's presence, guiding you like a gentle whisper. You begin to understand the language of divine timing. You no longer question why things happen as they do. Instead, you trust that all is unfolding as it should. The very isolation you once resented becomes a sacred time of preparation, a cocoon, where the old version of you dissolves and the new you emerges. This new version of you is not bound by fear or the opinions of others, You are no longer driven by external validation or the need for approval. In the quiet of your isolation, you discover the truth of who you are, a divine creation, perfectly loved and chosen by God. You realize that you do not need to strive for worthiness because you are already worthy. This realization frees you from the chains of insecurity and self-doubt. You stand taller, not out of pride, but out of a deep sense of belonging to something greater than yourself. And as you reflect on this journey, you begin to see that isolation was a gift. It was a gift wrapped in challenges and uncertainty, but a gift nonetheless. It stripped away the distractions and noise that kept you from hearing God's voice. It taught you to rely on Him completely, to place your trust not in circumstances but in His promises. It was in the silence that you learned the art of listening, not just with your ears, but with your heart. This listening is transformative. It opens your spirit to revelations that cannot be found in the hustle and bustle of everyday life. You start to see connections and patterns, to recognize the subtle ways in which God has been guiding you all along. What once felt like delays now feel like divine appointments. What once seemed like obstacles now appear as opportunities for growth. Your perspective shifts, and with it, your entire reality begins to change. You find yourself walking with a new kind of confidence, not the confidence that comes from your abilities, but the confidence that comes from knowing who walks with you. You are no longer afraid of the unknown because you have come to understand that God is already there preparing the way. The isolation taught you to let go of the need for control, to release your plans into His hands, and to trust that His ways are higher than your own. In this place of trust, you begin to dream again. But these dreams are different. They are no longer rooted in ego or fear, but in purpose and faith. You dream of being a vessel for God's light, of using your gifts to uplift and inspire others. You no longer ask, "What can I achieve?" but "How can I serve?" Your heart is aligned with a higher purpose, and your spirit is at peace. As you step out of isolation and into the blessings that have been prepared for you, you carry with you the lessons of the journey. You carry the strength that comes from enduring the quiet seasons, the wisdom gained from facing your fears, and the faith that grew in the absence of certainty. You are not the same person who entered this season, and for that you are grateful. The blessings that now unfold in your life are a testament to the power of preparation. They are not just rewards for your patience, but confirmations of God's faithfulness. They remind you that every moment of waiting, every tear shed in solitude, and every prayer whispered in the dark was not in vain. They remind you that God's timing is always perfect, that His plans for you are good, and that His love for you is unchanging. And yet the blessings are not the end of the story, they are just the beginning. For now you are equipped to step into a new chapter, one where you can share the light you have discovered with others. You become a beacon of hope for those who are still in their seasons of isolation, a living testimony that God's promises never fail. You carry within you the assurance that what He starts, He finishes, and what He promises, He fulfills. This journey has shown you that isolation is not a place of abandonment, but a place of transformation. It is where God does His deepest work, shaping you into the person you were always meant to be. It is where you learn that His grace is sufficient, His timing is perfect, and His love is everlasting. And as you move forward, you do so with a heart full of gratitude, a spirit full of faith, and a life full of purpose. Accept. You understand now that the season of isolation was never about what you lost, but about what you gained. A deeper connection with God, a clearer sense of your purpose, and an unshakable faith that will guide you in every season to come. You begin to see how everything aligns perfectly, not by coincidence, but by divine orchestration. The trials and tribulations that once seemed insurmountable now feel like stepping stones, strategically placed to elevate you to a higher understanding of yourself and God's purpose for your life. Every tear you shed in isolation now feels like a seed planted in fertile soil, and as the blessings begin to manifest, you realize they are the harvest of your endurance, faith, and unwavering belief in His promises. In isolation, you learn to surrender, not just to let go of control, but to truly release the weight of trying to figure everything out. Surrendering taught you that it's not about having all the answers, but about trusting the one who does. You stopped striving to make things happen and began to rest in the knowledge that God is working behind the scenes, weaving together every detail of your life for good. This surrender brought peace, a peace that surpasses understanding and anchors you, even when life doesn't go according to your plans. You now understand that isolation is not a punishment but a sacred pause, a divine interlude in the symphony of your life. It's in this pause that you learn to hear the still, small voice of God whispering truths you may have missed in the noise of daily life. In the silence, He reveals the desires of your heart that align with His will, teaching you that true fulfillment comes not from chasing fleeting pleasures, but from walking in alignment with His purpose. This alignment transforms your desires. You no longer seek validation from the world because you are already validated by God's love. You no longer measure success by worldly standards because you know that your worth is not determined by what you achieve, but by who you are in Him. The isolation stripped away the distractions and illusions, allowing you to see yourself clearly as a beloved child of God, fearfully and wonderfully made, chosen for a purpose greater than you could have imagined. Through this process, you realize that God's blessings are not just about material gain or outward success. They are about becoming the person He created you to be. The blessings are not just external, they are internal. They manifest as peace in your heart, clarity in your mind, and strength in your spirit. They are the kind of blessings that no one can take away because they are rooted in your relationship with God. You begin to notice how the isolation prepared you to steward these blessings. Without the lessons learned in solitude, you might have mishandled the very things you prayed for. The isolation taught you gratitude, true gratitude that goes beyond words and becomes a way of life. You now appreciate every blessing, big or small, because you understand the journey it took to receive them. You see each blessing as a gift from God, not something you earned, but something He lovingly prepared for you. This gratitude becomes a cornerstone of your life. It shifts your focus from what you lack to what you have, from what is missing to what is present. You stop comparing your journey to others because you understand that your path is uniquely designed by God. Comparison fades away when you realize that His blessings are abundant and limitless, and there is no need to compete for what is already yours by divine right. The isolation also taught you resilience, a resilience that is rooted not in your own strength but in God's. You now know that no matter what challenges come your way, you have the power to overcome them because the one who is in you is greater than anything in the world. This resilience gives you the courage to face life with faith, knowing that even when things don't go as planned, God's plans for you are always good. You reflect on the transformation that has taken place within you and realize that the person who entered the season of isolation is not the same person who emerged from it. The isolation refined you, reshaped you, and renewed your mind. It stripped away the old patterns of fear, doubt, and insecurity, replacing them with faith, confidence, and a deep sense of purpose. You are no longer defined by your past or limited by your circumstance. You are defined by God's promises and limitless potential. As you embrace the blessings that come after isolation, you do so with a heart that is open and ready to receive. You no longer cling to what is temporary because your eyes are fixed on what is eternal. You understand that the blessings are not an end point, but a beginning of a new chapter where you walk in the fullness of God's purpose for your life. This chapter is not just about you, but about how you can use your blessings to bless others, how you can be a light in a world that so desperately needs hope. The lessons of isolation have equipped you to be that light. They have given you a depth of understanding and empathy that allows you to connect with others in meaningful ways. You now see your struggles as a bridge to help others cross their own. You see your pain as a testimony of God's healing power and your waiting season as a reminder that His timing is always perfect. You are no longer afraid to share your story because you know that it is a story of redemption, grace, and divine purpose. You find that the isolation was not just about preparing you for blessings, but also about preparing you to be a blessing. You begin to see opportunities to serve, to give, and to uplift those around you. Your heart is filled with compassion, and your spirit is ignited with a passion to make a difference. You no longer see yourself as separate from others, but as part of a greater whole, connected by the love of God that flows through all of creation. This connection deepens your sense of purpose. You realize that your blessings are not meant to be hoarded but shared. They are meant to be a reflection of God's love, a testament to His goodness, and an invitation for others to experience the same transformation you have. You step into this purpose with confidence, knowing that you are not walking alone. God is with you, guiding you and empowering you every step of the way. The journey of isolation and blessing has brought you to a place of unwavering faith. You now understand that every season, whether of waiting, struggle, or abundance, serves a divine purpose. You no longer resist the process because you trust the one who orchestrates it. You walk with a sense of peace, knowing that God's plans for you are greater than anything you could imagine. You carry this peace with you, a peace that radiates outward and touches the lives of those around you. Through it all, you have learned that isolation is not a place of despair, but a place of preparation. It is where God does His most profound work in you, shaping you into the person you were always meant to be. It is where He draws you closer, teaches you to trust, and prepares you to receive the blessings He has in store. And as you emerge from this season, you do so with a heart full of gratitude, a spirit full of faith, and a life that is forever changed. You now walk in the awareness that every moment of isolation was an act of divine love, a purposeful season designed to elevate your spirit and transform your life. The clarity you have gained is undeniable, as if a veil has been lifted, revealing the intricate masterpiece of your journey. Isolation was not a place of abandonment, but a sacred chamber where God whispered truths that could only be heard in stillness. This stillness became your sanctuary, a space where distractions faded and your heart became aligned with God's will. In the silence, you discover that God's voice is not in the thunder or the chaos, but in the gentle, persistent urging of the Spirit. It is in this quiet that you learn to discern between the noise of the world and the wisdom of the divine. You stopped chasing after what the world said you needed, and you began to seek what God had already prepared for you. The process refined your faith, teaching you that faith is not a feeling but a choice, a deliberate decision to trust God even when nothing makes sense. It was in the moments of waiting, in the moments of wondering if the isolation would ever end, that your faith grew strongest. You discovered that faith is not about having all the answers, but about walking forward with confidence in the one who does. This faith became your anchor, grounding you when the storms of doubt threatened to sweep you away. With faith came patience, a virtue that was cultivated in the fertile soil of your isolation. You learned that patience is not passive but active, requiring you to trust God's timing while continuing to prepare for the blessings to come. Patience became the bridge between your prayers and their fulfillment, teaching you to wait with expectancy rather than frustration. It reminded you that delay is not denial, but a divine strategy to align circumstances, people, and opportunities for your good. As the isolation deepened, so did your relationship with God. You began to see Him not as a distant figure, but as a constant presence, a loving guide who walks with you through every season. You realized that isolation was not a separation from God, but an invitation to draw closer to Him. In the quiet, you poured out your heart, and in return, He poured His peace into your soul. You stopped striving for perfection and started resting in His grace, knowing that His strength is made perfect in your weakness. This newfound relationship with God redefined your identity. No longer did you see yourself through the lens of the world's opinions or your own shortcomings. Instead, you began to see yourself as God sees you, chosen, cherished, and created for a purpose. The isolation stripped away the false identities you had clung to, revealing the truth of who you are in Christ. This truth became your foundation, a solid rock on which you could stand no matter what challenges arose. The isolation also revealed the power of surrender. You came to understand that surrender is not giving up, but giving over, releasing your plans, your fears, and your expectations into God's hands. It was in surrendering that you found freedom, a freedom that allowed you to let go of what no longer served you and embrace what God had in store. You stopped resisting the process and started flowing with it, trusting that every twist and turn was leading you closer to His purpose for your life. This process of surrender and trust prepared you to receive the blessings that were waiting on the other side of isolation. You began to see how every trial, every tear, and every moment of solitude was part of a greater plan. The isolation was not a detour, but a direct path to the blessings God had promised. It was in this place of preparation that you developed the character, resilience, and faith needed to steward those blessings well. The blessings that followed were not just material or external, but deeply spiritual and transformative. They were the kind of blessings that brought peace to your mind, joy to your heart, and purpose to your soul. You realized that the greatest blessing was not what you received, but who you became in the process. The isolation had changed you, molding you into someone who could not only handle the blessings, but also use them to glorify God and uplift others. In this new season, you walk with a sense of gratitude that permeates every aspect of your life. You no longer take the small things for granted because you understand the journey it took to appreciate them. Gratitude becomes your lens, allowing you to see God's hand in everything. From the beauty of a sunrise to the kindness of a stranger. This gratitude fuels your faith, reminding you that the God who brought you through isolation is the same God who will carry you through every challenge to come. The lessons of isolation have given you a depth of wisdom that cannot be learned in comfort or ease. You now see life through a different perspective, one that is rooted in God's eternal truths rather than the fleeting concerns of the world. This wisdom guides your decisions, shapes your priorities, and aligns your actions with your purpose. You are no longer swayed by the opinions of others because you are anchored in the truth of who you are and whose you are. This newfound clarity allows you to walk with confidence, knowing that you are equipped for every good work that God has prepared for you. The isolation was not a setback but a setup, a divine preparation for the plans He has for your life. You now step into those plans with boldness, trusting that God has gone before you to make the crooked paths straight and the rough places smooth. You walk with the assurance that no weapon formed against you will prosper, because you are walking in alignment with God's will. As you reflect on the journey, you see how every moment of isolation was a gift, even when it didn't feel like one. It was a gift of transformation, a gift of growth, and a gift of intimacy with God. It was in the isolation that you found your strength, your purpose, and your peace. It was in the isolation that you learned to trust the process and embrace the journey, knowing that God's plans for you are always good. You now carry the lessons of isolation with you, allowing them to guide you as you navigate the seasons of life. You understand that isolation is not a place of punishment, but a place of preparation, a sacred space where God works in you so that He can work through you. You no longer fear the quiet moments because you know that they are where God's voice is the loudest. You embrace the process, trusting that every season serves a purpose, and every challenge is an opportunity to grow. Through it all, you have come to know that God's ways are higher than your ways and His thoughts higher than your thoughts. You have learned to trust His timing, His plans, and His promises, even when they don't align with your own. You walk with the assurance that God's love for you is unwavering and His purpose for you unshakable. And as you step into the blessings that await, you do so with a heart full of faith, a spirit full of gratitude, and a life forever changed by His grace. You step into this next chapter with a deep sense of humility, knowing that every step of the journey was orchestrated with precision. The moments of isolation, though painful at times, were not wasted, They were intricately woven into the tapestry of your life, creating a story of redemption, growth, and divine purpose. You recognize now that God was not just preparing blessings for you, He was preparing you for those blessings. The time spent in solitude taught you to lean into the stillness, to listen with your heart rather than your ears, and to trust in the unseen. It showed you that life is not about striving, but about surrendering, about allowing God to work in and through you. You understand now that the process was never meant to harm you, but to shape you, to mold you into someone capable of carrying the weight of divine purpose. Each season of isolation served as a classroom where the greatest lessons were taught not through words but through experience. You learnt resilience when everything around you seemed to fall apart. You discovered strength in the very moments when you felt weakest. And most importantly, you cultivated a faith so deep and unwavering that it could not be shaken by circumstances or doubt. These lessons became the foundation upon which you now stand, steady and unshakable. The isolation also taught you the beauty of dependence, not on people, not on circumstances, but on God alone. In the moments when you felt most alone, you realized you were never truly by yourself. God's presence became more tangible than ever, a constant source of comfort, guidance, and strength. This dependence was not a sign of weakness, but a profound acknowledgement of God's sovereignty and your need for Him in every area of your life. It shifted your perspective, allowing you to see that true strength comes from surrendering to a power greater than yourself. As you look back, you can see how the isolation prepared you for relationships and connections that align with your purpose. It refined your discernment, teaching you to recognize what is healthy and what is harmful. You no longer seek validation from others because you have found it in God. This newfound confidence allows you to engage with others from a place of abundance rather than lack, of wholeness rather than need. You understand now that not everyone is meant to walk with you in every season, and that is okay. Some people are removed not to harm you, but to make room for those who will support and uplift you. The blessings that come after isolation are sweeter because they are grounded in a deeper understanding of their purpose. You no longer take them for granted because you know the cost of the journey it took to receive them. These blessings are not just material, but spiritual, emotional, and relational. They are the kind of blessings that bring peace to your soul and joy to your heart. They align with the person you have become and the purpose God has called you to fulfill. You now walk with a renewed sense of identity, grounded not in what the world says about you, but in what God says about you. You are His beloved, His masterpiece, created for good works that He prepared in advance for you to do. This identity is unshakable, rooted in the truth of who God is and who He has created you to be. It gives you the confidence to step into any situation with boldness, knowing that you are equipped and empowered by the one who called you. The journey through isolation has given you a unique testimony, one that has the power to inspire and uplift others. Your story is a testament to God's faithfulness, His ability to turn what was meant for harm into something beautiful. You carry this testimony with you, ready to share it with those who are walking through their own seasons of isolation. Your words become a beacon of hope, a reminder that the darkness will not last forever, and that the light is always on the horizon. Gratitude fills your heart as you reflect on the process. You are grateful not just for the blessings, but for the journey that prepared you to receive them. You see now that the waiting was not wasted, that the pain had a purpose, and that every tear you shed watered the seeds of your future. Gratitude becomes your posture, a way of life that allows you to see God's hand in every detail, both big and small. The isolation also taught you the importance of rest, not just physical rest, but spiritual rest. You learned to cease striving and to trust in God's ability to work on your behalf. This rest became a source of strength, allowing you to move forward with confidence and peace. You stopped trying to control everything and started trusting in God's perfect timing. This trust allowed you to release the burden of worry and embrace the freedom that comes from knowing God is in control. The process of isolation has also deepened your empathy and compassion for others. You understand now what it feels like to walk through seasons of uncertainty, to wrestle with doubt, and to long for answers. This understanding allows you to meet others where they are, offering them the same grace and encouragement that God extended to you. Your journey becomes a source of comfort for others, a reminder that they are not alone, and that God is with them every step of the way. You carry forward the lessons of isolation with a sense of purpose and determination. You are no longer the same person you were before. The process has transformed you, refined you, and equipped you for the next chapter of your life. You step into this new season with a heart full of faith, a spirit full of gratitude, and a life that reflects the goodness of God. You are ready to embrace the blessings, not as an end in themselves, but as a means to glorify God and fulfill the purpose for which you were created. In the grand tapestry of life, every thread of isolation, every quiet moment of solitude, every tear shed in the silence, was woven with divine intent. What once seemed like separation was in truth preparation. God isolates not to punish, but to mold, refine, and strengthen, ensuring that when the blessings arrive, they are not only received, but sustained with purpose and gratitude. As you stand now, a testament to resilience and faith, you can look back and see the fingerprints of God in every step of your journey. The moments of isolation were sacred spaces where God spoke, healed, and prepared your heart. And now, as you step into the blessings, remember that they are not just for you, they are tools for greater purpose, reflections of God's glory, and opportunities to pour into the lives of others. Trust the process, embrace the journey, and know that every season, even the quietest one, carries within it the promise of God's unfailing love and perfect timing.